recording. And we share my screen. No, geez, I didn't even. And slideshow. Okay. Can you all see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Wally won the poll, so that's why Wally's here. Okay, great. I see a thumbs up. Okay. So Wally won. So yeah. So I think it's 7 o'clock. Yeah, it's 7 o'clock. So officer nominations are officially open. They will be closed 2 weeks from today at 5 p.m. It gives me a couple hours to get them together for the get the next form up before the next meeting. And you just need to make a little mission statement / why people should vote for you. You can pick two positions you wish to run for, and if you win both, you can choose which position you want, and the runner-up takes the position you did not choose. Next slides have what entails each position according to our Constitution. At the end of the slideshow, I will put the link in the chat. I just don't want to go out and in and out and in, but that's the link. Oh, requirements to run. To qualify for an officer position, a student, this is coming right from our Constitution. A student must be an active member of the organization, comes to at least 75% of the meetings, and highly interested in the advancement of the club. Student must have been an active member of the club for at least one full semester to better understand the club. And the student must maintain overall GPA 2.5. There's nothing we could change about that. The school checks for that. We don't check for that. So the positions will not officially start until the end of the spring semester, as we've said before, but we're doing it early to give training since we're basically having a brand new board. In all seriousness, like all of them are graduating. So that's that. And then I don't want to read all of this. But this is coming from our Constitution, basically what each position does. Generally, president and vice president is pretty self-explanatory. And I don't think our treasurer is here. I would have him say something, but I don't. In the waiting room. I want to make sure I didn't miss anyone. The waiting room. No? Okay, good. Well, our treasurer's not here. I don't know where he is, but basically they just keep track of the finances of the club and keeps talking with the school treasurer, basically. They apply for funding when needed, applies for fundraisers like food spirit nights, selling food, all that stuff. And our secretary is not here either, but they keep minutes of the meetings and send messages to club members. They're responsible for forms that have to be filled out. Okay. Social media manager basically runs all the social media and does like the different like daily things like the Cloud Friday, basically the Cloud Friday and whatever they want to add. And they work with the historian taking photos and stuff. And then historian, they're mainly responsible for taking pictures during the events and field trips. Any of our office? Oh, Brian, you came. I didn't see you. Hi, Brian.
I just popped in.
Okay, good.
Came home and ate some dinner, and then I was like, "Oh shoot, we have a meeting." I saw your message.
No, that's a mood. Because I was on a treasure. I'm like, wait, Brian's not here. And then I was like, oh wait, you're here now. Let's see. Her historian's not here either. Okay, I don't know where he went, but they usually take the photos and they work on the poster, which I will show at the end of these slides because we keep forgetting to put the poster in the slides of what our actual poster is now. So I will pull it up at the end of this to show. And an SGA rep basically goes to all the meetings that they can humanly go to, unless there's quizzes or tests and one of us does it, but they go to everything that they humanly can. There's nothing school involved in it. And then they take notes for the club and they report back to the club any new business from the SGA meetings. So we'll send the link to the form when Colin starts talking, and you have 2 weeks to get it done. Yeah, and in-person events, they're still prohibited. Wally's sad, looking up, waiting for the in-person events to come. There's really nothing to be said about that. So yeah, if they ever come back, we'll let you know. This is something we were experimenting with the idea of. Thinking of Colin, he's here. Thinking of Colin do a little short Python course series of how to use very basics of Python, maybe make a plot or something. Is there any interest in that? You can put it in the chat. I'm not doing an official poll for this one. I don't want to bore you all with polls after polls. Let's see. Why can I not get the chat to pull up? Hello, chat. I'm pulling Mr. Split. Oh, there's Kelly. Why won't the chat work? Can you look at the chat? Because I cannot, the chat will not pull up. Yes. My chat is just not working. I'm looking at
people
Colin.
saying yes in the chat. I could.
Okay, great. Thank you.
I saw some people put like thumb.
I saw Kelly put a thumbs up in the thing, but my chat will not load. It only showed one chat, but look at Colin's, there's 6 of them. So, okay, we'll work on that. Get more details forthcoming. And this just came off the presses literally 10 minutes ago. Anyone who's in Wex Challenge, next city is Los Angeles. I saw that, Brian. I saw that. So I think that's it. Let me do the post. Let me show the poster real quick. You have a minute. Let me show the poster. We didn't really have much. Oh, now the chat's working. We didn't really have much business for today because we can't really do any events. So let me do the poster. Is this the right poster? Yeah, is this? Yeah, this is the right poster. Okay. Let me share a screen of our poster real quick. Matt's not here. That stinks, but I'll just do it. Where is it? This one. I do not know how to put this into full screen, but this is the poster Matt, our historian, made. I do not know how to put this into, I do not know. Oh, what the heck did I do? Whoa, how did I go back to PowerPoint? I don't know how I did that. Can you all see the poster again, or is it not working?
Yeah, we see it.
Okay, great.
It's a little cut off at the bottom.
That's what I'm trying to figure out why it's doing that. Oh wait, I could just move this up. There, I think that'll work. Yeah, there's really nothing at the bottom. That's all of it. So, no, it's not cut off. So that's the poster. I don't know why it's not letting me zoom. I was trying to zoom it in so you can actually see it better. There we go. So yeah, that's the poster Matt made that we submitted to AMS. We didn't win anything, but we at least got an updated poster. So we technically did win something. We needed an updated poster anyways. So at some point, we'll try to get this printed and put it in the link building. I forgot what the name of the place was for a second there. And there's that. So yeah, I mean, Matt's not here, but thanks, Matt, in spirit. And let me stop that share. And let me put the link in the chat. I'll have an email sent out with the link, but if any of you really want to be overachievers, want to start it, go nuts. It should be open now. If it's giving you issues, please let me know. And with that, it's Colin's turn.
I don't know why you guys think I can teach you anything. This is one of the greatest misconceptions of the century.
Do you have your volume on so you can actually hear them? Okay. Fair.
Alrighty. So we don't have Will, so if that's what you guys were hoping for, you guys should probably just leave now. Instead, you have me rambling about tornadoes with half the data that I would like to have. And Zoom will not lock on. I don't know. We'll see what you guys actually see from this, because what Zoom thinks is my web browser is not actually what I have pulled up on it.
Just
so
it'll work. Don't worry.
All right. So.
Yeah, that's what we see.
All right, so we're going to do the best we can with the always finicky archive for the mesoanalysis. So as you guys probably know, that back on the evening of the 25th, there was an EF3 tornado that went through Jefferson County, roughly just northwest of Birmingham, Alabama. So we'll kind of do a little overview of what happened. I'm not particularly planning on going particularly in depth, but we'll see what we can get through. So here we are at 300 millibars with the probably was the afternoon, roughly the afternoon before the storm. As you can see from the very annoying loop, we roughly had this feature, sort of a broad trough sort of out in the west with a very large ridge, more or less a large ridge feature over the eastern United States with a jet streak essentially in the middle here that works its way across. And then throughout the event, this is really fantastic. All right, well, that's a mess. Then we'll going through, so then we can go down to 500. Hopefully. Yeah. So can I control it like that? Yes, I can. Sweet. All right. So this is probably, I guess this is the best we got just before the tornado. It doesn't really look like much of a classic tornado environment. It's, what is that? What? 60, 15, no, 90 knots. Okay, so 90 knots aloft at 500 to the well, straight west of the tornado site. It's the winter time. Definitely not a classic tornado event. It's pretty decent. Well, it was a show that's actually pretty decent for the winter time, but SPC wasn't expecting a whole lot out of this, nor were the local office, nor was Birmingham. So it's kind of interesting the fact that we actually did get a decent sized tornado. But if you're familiar with the plains tornadoes type setup, this isn't particularly exciting. But we can see if there's a bit of a little jet feature, if it actually loads. There it goes. Okay. But I only got something here. Back up a little bit. That was like 50 knots there. That's a 50, okay. You get the low level, looks like we got some more low level moisture here. Obviously there's some warm air advection probably throughout the day. The front is somewhere out here. And we can go to the surface, do that. You can see the surface. So we got the front roughly here. We got an area from moisture tongue. We got the center of the low. And the other one straight out of the north. Let's see. How many freshmen do we have here? Or sophomores?
You're pretty good amount.
Okay.
Pretty much everybody except like 2 people.
Okay, then we'll quickly go over some stuff. I want to see if we can find one more thing. Yeah, close enough. That's really because I want to get at. So we also had some warm air advection. So for the people who are not as familiar with the QG way of thinking, this is one way to get vertical motion in the atmosphere. It's not the only way. It's also not really the best way either to do it. Differential vorticity is a lot more efficient way of doing it. But nonetheless, you do get a little bit. So we kind of know there's probably some weak vertical motion already over Alabama for the setting up the storms in general through the day. The warm air advection here is coming out the Gulf, so it's probably also being accompanied with a whole bunch of moisture. And I really hope that's not my car beeping. And so then we got the cold air coming down on the other side. So we kind of got this sort of three-dimensional view here of the storm with the cold air coming down and the warm air rising up. And we can look at, let's see. Yeah, we'll just look at it and then I'll explain it. So we can look at the storm relative helicity, which is generally helicity is just more or less considered spin in the atmosphere. So this is from 0 to the lowest kilometer. So from the surface to 1 kilometer up. And so generally, is it around 1? I got something to show you guys with more values, but it's generally probably around 200 and up is generally a pretty decent for supercell. And maybe a weak tornado. The winter time is known as a high shear low cape events. So we don't really get the instability of sort of the springtime events, but we do get that compensated by increased shear. So you can see into central Alabama, we got about 400 0Z, and it kind of maintains, so it sharpens as they go through the evening. There's another way of doing it, which is from 0 to 500 meters, which personally I think I'd be really interested in seeing, because there's some newer research that came out in 2019 suggesting that actually might be a better layer to use for the low level helicity, but the archive does not archive that data. So we don't get it. It's probably higher values. So that's sort of, this is at least one sort of, just because there is helicity, of course, doesn't mean there is going to be tornadoes, but it's another sort of a tool you can use. It's kind of like trying to play football without not actually being able to see the ball, just seeing the players run around. That's basically tornado forecasting. And then of course, as I said, the shear, we can look at the shear values. As you can see, it was at 70 up there, so it was at 60. So a pretty good amount of shear throughout the day. A sounding would probably be a little bit better way to do it. I can show you the cape real quick. You can kind of see what I mean. Because I don't even think that for cape they even hit 1,000. Yeah, not really. Okay, quickly look at moisture. It wasn't too moist either. So you can see throughout the day, sort of this plume of moisture being moved along by the whole system. Probably some pretty strong winds, low mid-level winds kind of elongating this as well. As it goes through, don't mind the archive being stupid. And that's probably all we really need to show here. All right, I don't really want to go presenter view, it's fine. So so for those who are new to this whole helicity, the sort of a great way of looking at it is if you look at a photograph, which is just a polar plot of winds with height, basically, you can essentially take this plot and essentially take the area under the curve, and that is your helicity, essentially. So bigger area, more helicity. No surprise here, it's defined by an integral. Which I don't think I actually have. Do I have helicity defined? I don't think so. I think I only have cape defined. But it's not really that hard, despite what Cassie mumbled under her breath. It's really like a Calc 1 level integral. Not really that complicated. But the basic idea is that you can graphically relate these mathematical concepts. So here's sort of don't worry about the E part, that stands for enhanced. But that just has more to do with how they're defining those bounds of integration. But that's not really what I want to get at. What I want to get at is that at least this particular paper looked at different storm modes and how much helicity was typically found for, I think it was EF2 or greater. So you can kind of get an idea of what are the typical values. If you're not familiar with the box and whisker, I don't know. I feel like everyone, at least if you're in the United States, you got beat to death with those in school, so you probably do know what these are. But for those that need a reminder, the middle value is roughly your average, and then you get the whole range there as well, sort of your two top and bottom. And so I don't want to go too much on the these discrete right movers is kind of what we see in the planes, and then hybrid to QLCS is normally, so these two are more of what you get in the southeast United States, particularly in the winter, especially the QLCS. This is really probably the storm mode we're looking for. So if you're expecting high forecast tornadoes, these are the values you want to see. Also, back to the whole CAPE idea. This one I do have the integral. It's really the same idea fundamentally here, is that you can look at a sounding and you can see the essentially the area under the curve. It's basically the same idea. So here's more of the graphical view. So here's your area under the curve essentially is here. So this is sort of a theoretical parcel ascent. And this is the actual observed what actually happens. But don't worry too much about the surface-based, virtual, parcel, non-virtual. Don't worry too much about that. Worry just more about the roughly this area in between these two lines. Yes, there's a different line because they're trying to show a different way of calculating it. But I don't really care about that right now. I also don't really care about this weird inversion. And then, so this is mixed layer, and it's called mixed layer because you're taking the average virtual temperature generally of the lowest 100 millibars. And that's because that's basically so that a shallow surface layer doesn't bias. A shallow moist layer doesn't bias your calculation of CAPE. And one of the things I do like about this is that they actually broke it up into the seasons. So we can see that that for the winter, this is the values expect. And our mixed layer was around, I think 600 was roughly where it was for this event. So you can see that lies roughly to the average. And I guess you could jump up to the QLCS and see that we were right about here for for the helicity. So that's not terrible. And then we can go over here and we can look at the SPC outlook. So this is the actual outlook for the day. You can see it's just a slight risk. And here are the categories for those that have never seen it. This is the categorical outlook. There also is a probabilistic product that you can go look at on the SPC's website. It really was developed more of just it wasn't really developed to be used as a public product. It was mainly just made for meteorologists. But there were a few notable storms that basically this product got kind of shoved into the public light. It was always available, but it all of a sudden became something the public wanted to see. And so you'll get a lot of controversy. Twitter loves talking about how bad this product is. What Twitter doesn't like is they don't like these two categories here. And there's some very valid concerns about how to name all this, and there's some very good social science that's been done in the field about all of these. And these decisions to make these were not in a vacuum. They did talk to social scientists, and these categories, kind of the split here is, it came from emergency management wanting to basically take the enhanced day and kind of break it into two. It really came from our partners and what they wanted. And so that's why the split was created, for us to create slight. And that's how it is. Then we can go to the tornado watch. So the tornado watches, and this was the most recent tornado watch before the event. They did indeed. So they put this valid from 1140. Trying to think of that would have been right for. I think the tornado that occurred actually was a little before this was issued. There was another one, another tornado watch that was put out. This is put out before this one. But I just wanted to do more of an example of it is that these are issued by SPC. The idea is to get a few hour lead time for when conditions will be favorable for tornadoes. And unlike the warnings, they are based on counties. Warnings are polygons. They're drawn for specific areas. Watches are county based. And that's really all I got there. We can move on to the other side here. I promise you my rambling's almost done. But so we have the radar here that we can look at, and I will try to juggle 2 different computers at once, and nothing will possibly go wrong by me doing this. So this is roughly the storm we're going to watch. You can see Birmingham's here. So I can find the, so this is the actual town that was impacted. So we'll try to watch. Can I just place it more? Yeah, I'll just put a dot there that you may or may not be able to see as this goes through, but I'll just let it loop and then we'll go more into detail. So the warning that I've got it coded in the software is that our purple warning has a storm report confirming the tornado. Just so you know, it's a little bit of a non-standard color there. And don't really worry about the triangles and whatnot. We're not really interested in that. But kind of an interesting thing here is that there was some smallish hail in the county. And this is the area that we're going to watch for the tornado development. Actually, zoom out a little bit more. You start seeing it's starting to get some tighter rotation here. The beam height, so the radar is not really seen near the surface. It's seen about 2,000 feet. So you kind of need to keep that in mind when looking at these kind of products. You can see in general the structure of the storm, it's kind of a mess. But there is still some structure. So you can go see it go through. It's starting to really tighten up. And then we have our first storm report of it on the ground. And this was actually, so this was 1 fatality and 30 injured. You can see that we got our, let's got it. Going through, it crosses the interstate. And on the other side, we have to get another fatality. And this is the area more or less we had the strongest intensity here with this. Yeah, that's a real nice couplet there. Zoomed way too much. And then the tornado lasts for a little bit longer. And it sort of peters out at some point as it goes, and there's still more rain and another line of rain coming through. And it looks like down more this way, they got another tornado warning down in the Jackson, Mississippi area. So yeah, so that's sort of our storm here. I've got one more thing that I can show. So I'll always stop the share on this side and I can pull it up. But any questions?
I have the final outcomes of like what they ranked and stuff up when you're done.
Oh, then you have 3.
Yeah, I know.
I've said that.
You
right.
did?
Yeah.
Well, I don't remember you saying that.
And
I
I'm
have
gonna have-
pictures.
I have all the data here.
I have pictures.
I do too.
Oh, dang,
I have a question.
Hey, what's up?
This was an EF3 confirmed, right? Are they confirmed as an EF3?
That's what the preliminary storm report said.
Okay,
Although I don't know why they would change it. I mean, it's possible they could change it, but
they could, but you know.
They did update the width a little bit later to say 900 yards.
okay. Well, that's what the GIS data already has. So.
Did. Okay, cool.
So I was actually pulled up the storm report and or the storm survey, and I actually plotted it here. So we're gonna pretend like we're all fancy here. So this is the storm track here. And so that's the storm track, and then that's not good. I took off essentially my legend here.
Let me context.
Yeah, I got it. So what we can do here is, so essentially I've got the black line as the sort of the center of the storm track. And then I color coded the sort of the damage areas here. Let's turn these off for now. All right, cool. So you can essentially see that the area where I showed you that the tightest couplet was in this area. And we can see that it was, that that was the EF3 damage. So that this area here is where the EF3 was, and a little bit here. And you kind of see that outward goes out. We can click on the different, I broke up the reports, or what they determined. These are when they went out and they looked at the damage, then they estimated the wind speeds at these points. You can see that here, there's EF0 damage there. Out here, it's what's probably some trees. Yeah, it's a tree. They rated EF1. They have their estimated wind speed at 88 miles an hour. But then you can go into more of this area of most of our damage. And then you can see that it's definitely more extensive damage, exterior walls, EF3, 130. 36 miles an hour, but they do make there's some structural deficiencies in the building. And we can go in and we can see a picture of it. Except you guys can't because it's not sharing that.
Oh, wow, you really do have a picture.
Yeah.
No, we cannot see that.
Oh, I know. I will.
You can share the whole desktop.
I could do that.
That'll just be easier.
All right, we'll just do that. So I assume you guys can see it. All right, so we can see this is kind of what they're talking about this being not necessarily the best built building out there. Well, we can go into, we can pick another one. Actually, I ended up picking the same one. How about that? We can go in, we can see another photo. So you can see some more of the damage here. It looks like the roof is gone. Some smaller trees have been taken out. There's even a few out that way. So you can see a little bit of damage, but not a whole lot there. Then I essentially tried to bring, even though it's not perfect, it did pick up on some weird. So I kind of had to filter it by the comments that they wrote in the storm survey. But so this isn't perfect, but I tried my best. So here's all the damage that essentially was trees damaged. And then I tried to filter out sort of the high impact, the major damage to buildings. I think some of these might be misidentified with the way that it decided to do. Oh, no, that one's fine. But I tried to do my best here to show you that So if you look at this, you can definitely go in and see that the greatest building damage for the most part was within this swath here. So that's the exterior wall one, and then so that's what I was trying to show you. That a lot of this here, these major building damage, like these are miscoded, because these I think were less than 20% of the roof. But for the most part, this is pretty good. These had extensive damage. EF3 wins, and you can see that it goes on for a bit. Like these probably really aren't. That are their mobile homes. Yeah, they're manufactured homes. So they had some damage, but it also was EF0. So there's only 80-mile-an-hour winds there. So I tried to tweak it a little bit, but I guess it still needs a bit more refinement. Anyway, so I just want to show you a little bit more in depth into the actual post-storm. We don't really do much of that here. The post-storm stuff. We generally look at just the weather part. Any questions? Okay, did you have something else?
No, I didn't have anything.
Okay.
Yeah, because you kind of. I was just gonna show the pictures I would post on the NWS page, but
I mean, you can. They're the same photos logged into here, but
if you've already shown them, it doesn't matter.
I can go searching for photos if
Um,
you want. I'm trying to find some other. There you go. There's some damage for you. But no, we did not want to open that up twice. Yeah, that's not good. Alrighty, nothing. Not that good, guys. I can't possibly not confuse the heck out of you. Click on the width. So yeah, there we go. What was it? The whole length was what, about 9.5 miles, 900 yards. Yeah, that's a short description of the track. If you're interested. So yeah, so that was the storm.
Kelly, you always have questions. Always, Seth has one. Good.
You always call on me when there are no questions. I was gonna say he confuses so much we don't have questions.
Good.
It's definitely kind of a surprise storm,
Was that your goal?
how intense it was.
A surprise storm.
Well, of how intense it was.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I suppose.
They were predicting a slight risk of storms, but still, in EF3, it's pretty intense.
All right, but those ratings don't correlate necessarily to
True.
directly. I'm pretty sure they're the slides say probability of EF2 or greater is how the
True.
probabilistic outlook is phrased. And that's pretty important to think about what exactly these products are saying. I will say Birmingham did a great job. They had the warning out a few minutes before touchdown. They were messaging this all evening about the risk. Everyone involved did a good job. Emergency management did a good job. There was really no reason for this to have been a surprise.
I mean, it is February. That is a little, interesting that it hit during February.
Not really. This happens all the time. This is you should go look up Dixie Alley.
I know Dixie Alley is, but
Right, but this is Dixie Alley, right? This is
I know,
Alabama.
yeah, it's Alabama,
So this
Mississippi,
isn't that surprising.
Arkansas, yeah.
This isn't that surprising for the Southeast.
I managed to come up with a question based on that in the meantime, because you mentioned a lot about emergency management and social science and stuff. So kind of tying the two questions together, do you think that this was a typical handling of the situation? I just asked that because you made the comment about emergency management, and like they talked a lot about that in the conference and stuff. Kind of a vague question, but I'll let you take that how you want to.
I mean, I think the system overall worked like it was supposed to. I mean, the practitioners in the field will always find something. That's their job. But I mean, it was messaged several hours out. Folks on the ground were able to deal with the storm and deal with COVID. So, I mean, they did a good job. This survey was done fairly promptly.
They get the stamp of approval from Professor Snyder.
Well, I don't know if I have any authority to give any stamps, but I suppose we can give out stickers if you want.
A gold star. Gold star. You get a gold star. You get a gold star. You all get gold stars.
I don't think he's handed them out these days.
Yeah, they're more virtual these days.
Yeah. Anyone else have any comments, questions, dreams, aspirations, hallucinations? Doctor, I would say.
Anyone have any good food?
Cassie knows what I got after my Dippy Q test. Zach, are you jealous?
Hell
I
yeah.
had one right before this meeting.
Yes.
Everybody, make sure you go to Krispy Kreme before Valentine's Day if you're a donut lover like some of us are. Get the chocolate caramel one.
Oh, the chocolate. Oh my God, that was my favorite one.
Yeah, same.
Hands down, that was my favorite. Not gonna lie.
Is that good enough for food, Colin?
I brought him back 2 glazed donuts. He has had one so far.
Yeah, I have an originalist here.
Wow. So you had the chocolate caramel filled heart-shaped special design and you gave Colin a plain glazed?
Because that's all he asks for. The man that's
Like I
not.
said, I'm an originalist.
I mean, glazed
Oh.
donuts are the best donuts at Krispy Kreme, no doubt about that.
Look, I keep it simple. Less can go wrong when you keep it simple. They're also a lot cheaper than your fancy smanchy ones.
Actually, the same price.
Usually they're more expensive. Usually things like that are more expensive.
And it's
Yeah.
in the $7.98 box.
I don't know if they messed that up or if that was correct,
They-
but that's what
they
they
may
charged
have.
me.
They charged me $7.98 for 6.
I got the same thing.
They used to be $7.74, so apparently there's some inflation going on of like 24 cents. I've been to Krispy Kreme so many times I memorized the price.
I went with my roommate and we went up to the window and she goes, I said, okay, let's get 6 donuts, like one of each of the like specialty ones. And she goes, can I get 6 dozen? And the lady about had a heart attack. I was like, no, half dozen, 6 donuts, not 6 dozen.
Ah, jeez.
And then it made me think of our fundraiser when we got 1 million.
Oh, God.
When I bought so many.
Yeah, you bought like, what, like 10 boxes or something?
I think it was like 6.
6? I don't remember.
I did a really good job selling those. They weren't all for me, just to clarify.
Right? I should look in. I need to write this down. I wanted to look into that because they're doing a virtual way for Krispy Kreme this time where you can like sell them by the dozen and it sends a code. So like the person can get them anywhere there's a Krispy Kreme. And I meant to look into that and see what the heck it is. Brian, are you back?
Yeah.
Oh, there you are. Can you look into that?
He sounded so enthused.
Por favor. You're on mute.
Look into what? I just came back.
Oh, well, we're talking about Krispy Kreme because Colin mentioned anyone have any good food. So then Kelly, Zach, I, and
Do you want to know about the Krispy Kreme fundraiser?
yeah, because they have a
Understood.
virtual way of it right now where like they send a code out once you get money we get the money on like Venmo or something, and then they send codes after.
Yeah, we could definitely do a Krispy Kreme. We did one last year, didn't we?
We did it with actual donuts, but this time you can do it with codes. So I just want to see if you can look into that for the virtual that we're mentioning Krispy Kreme.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll get on that.
Thank you.
You guys mentioned anything else about fundraisers that was going, or was it just Krispy Kreme?
Oh no, we were just talking about donuts in general, and I just thought of that.
Is Panda Express still on the table in the
Yeah,
future?
well, we're still doing that as a training event for the new officers. That's still the plan. The general timeline of what we want to do, what the plan is the 18th. Next, I'm doing Dubai the meeting, so it makes it easy. The 18th, we're opening up the voting for the officers. Like everything will be submitted to me, and I will open up the voting if there's actually voting. In past years, everyone just picked one place, and everyone just gets what they want. We don't know if that's actually going to happen. We'll open up the voting, and then on the 4th, we'll announce who won, and then we'll start trying to organize the Panda Express fundraiser with the new officers and the old officers. So they could, not old, but current officers, I should say. That's what I meant to say. So they could train the others, because at least we need to get the treasurer trained. Because Brian's very, very good at what he does. And we commend you, Brian.
Thanks. The job was gonna get harder, though. They want to put more restrictions on us in terms of they want us to take checks and balances of all the stuff we do, and for them to see. I don't understand why they want to do that, because Brian usually does it. Other Brian, I guess they just want to take some of the workload off of him.
Yeah, I guess.
But if you guys I'm graduating next semester, so if anyone wants any help or wants to be a treasurer or thinking about it, just hit me up and we could do some stuff together. I could explain some stuff to you. It's a fun job, and you get to help out the club, and you get to meet a lot of new friends and that type of stuff. And even if you don't have any, not too interested, if you have any ideas for stuff to buy for the club, anything that you guys want to see done in particular or want to see the club have, let me know, because the school is trying to spend the SCFC fund. That's the $200 the school takes from you in expenses at the beginning of every year. It goes to all the clubs. But the thing is, we aren't spending it because of COVID, and the school isn't going to reimburse you guys. They're just going to absorb the money, and the money is probably going to go into Dwayne McKay's private jet. I don't know.
We're still recording, right?
Yeah, we're still recording. It's okay. No.
I mean, that's fine. I mean,
Just edit that bit out.
I think he deserves a jet. He's a cool president.
He is.
Nice save.
Save of the century.
Oh, that was great. That made my night.
That was great on his feet too.
Yeah, but still, I mean, if you have any ideas, we could spend it. I'm personally thinking about trying to get like a video game for us, but I'm not sure how to spin it into the funding.
Yeah, I was just gonna piggyback off that. At the SGA meeting that I went to last time, the example they used was, oh, if you're a gaming club and you want 5 new PlayStations for your club, that is something that they'll cover. So it's really weird what restrictions, but no idea is too crazy. So
I still want to do the virtual reality headset, and you can go into an actual storm. I think that's still pretty cool.
I'm not sure if that technology even exists. Does it?
They have virtual reality. I don't know what you can do with the virtual reality, but if you can go to Disney World in virtual reality, shoot, you could probably do anything in virtual reality.
Make your wildest dreams come true.
Virtual reality?
Like the Oculus thingamajigs?
Oh, I don't know. I've been to Disney in 7 years.
Yeah, but usually they have a thing on there where you can actually go to Disney. So if you can go to Disney, there's probably a way they could put you into a storm or something.
No.
Some sort. Not maybe into a cloud, but on the ground of a tornadic event. I don't know. I've never looked into it. That was my idea based off the PS5s, because we do not need PS5s. I mean,
yeah, I'm not a huge fan of doing something like that.
Yeah, that was just the example that I used.
Yeah, no, it is.
I was surprised the school would cover something like that. But I guess for a club that's what they do, it makes sense. But basically, we have a lot of money to spend and we need ideas. So
Hit up the officers with your ideas then. This is just a plug at the end of the meeting. Hit up your officers with if you have any ideas. We still have to talk to Dr. L, but yeah, he's there somewhere.
Not in the
Not
sim.
literally here. He's kind of just in the ethers of I don't really know how to get in contact with him half the time. So
I mean 8 a.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays generally does it. But
I'm not waking up at 8 a.m. No, thank you. And I forgot what I was gonna say. It's probably not that important then.
yeah, probably not.
Probably not. Okay. Anyone else have any more questions, comments, anything of any sorts? Okay. I don't see anything. I see head shaking nose. So hey, we kept it within the hour this time. Will went over way much last time, so we kept it within the hour, which is a great thing. I don't know why I waved my pen, but okay. And we can adjourn then, since we're done. Yeah, Kelly.
Bye. Thanks.
Okay, next meeting's in 2 weeks. Have a good night.
Have a good night. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.